Hi guys! So today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial since you can see my face is super bare, so I'm going to go and walk you through basically one of my first spring makeup looks. I really love spring because all the pastels are out, like all the bright colors, and I really hate the cold and I live in Canada, so that sucks for me. And basically, like right now, it's actually kind of like the weather is really mild, like it's not too cold. So I'm really happy about that. So I'm really excited about this makeup tutorial, and I hope you guys will like it too. So the primer I'm using, or base, is MAC's Paint Pot Soft Ochre as usual. I'm starting to think I really need a new primer, kind of just have diversity in my videos. But this one is really the best because it's not oily. It's just like kind of like a matte base on my eyes, so I just love it. And it's hard to find anything else that I like better. You can see I just apply it everywhere on my eyelid basically. And soft ochre is really the best color for me because once blended, you really don't see the difference between my actual skin tone and where I applied it that much, so it's perfect. The eyeshadow palette I'm using is Anastasia Beverly Hills Self-Made palette because it has all the colors I want. The first one I'm taking is Isla, which is a really minty color, which I'm going to use to apply it with an all-over shadow brush all over my eyelid. What I love about Anastasia's self-made palette is that the colors are really pigmented, because usually I would think that a mint color like this would be really hard to apply because it would be more on the sheer side, but you can see that it does a decent job, like it's not too sheer, but you might still have to apply a few coats of Isla all over your lids to get the desired effect, although I don't want like a really intense look, I really want it to be soft, so I'm not going to apply many coats. Next color is going to be Blossom, and it's going to be using a precision smudge brush because it's very pointy without being too much, still kind of dense, but with a very precision tip to apply, and I'm going to just apply it in my outer V. So this part is actually a little bit tricky to me. It's just basically going from the corner of your eye up and then kind of doing a left turn into your crease. And basically just applying there and trying to make it look pretty. Try not to mess it up, which can be really hard. I'm also going to apply Blossom on my lower lash line, and basically that's all I have to say about this. And I apologize if you have noticed my palette is very dirty because the colors are very sheer and powdery and they just go all over the place, and those are all excuses to try to excuse the fact that I'm a super messy person. Next, I'll be taking the color Treasure and a shader brush, which is super small and precise, to apply Treasure in the inner corner of my eyes, basically to do kind of a really highlighting effect and give a little punch to my eyes. Now taking a blending brush, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of smoothing the whole thing so that there's no awkward divisions between the colors to kind of make the whole thing smooth and flowy. Now taking Sephora's a contour eye pencil, which is a 12-hour wear in the color Cocoa, which is kind of like a shimmery eyeliner. Basically, I'm just going to apply it not too thick, try not to make it messy, which is hard because I find pencils to be so hard to apply, but basically just line my upper lash with this brown pencil. And it's already thicker than I wanted it to be, but like I mentioned, kind of just go with whatever you can manage because pencils can be a real challenge here. And don't worry if it's a little bit messy because we're going to smudge everything right after. You guys can feel free to laugh about my technique with pencils because I really suck and it's embarrassing, and I'm pretty much just trying to do whatever I can to fix it. And there it is, that's the most embarrassing part of all. This is where I fix my sins using a smudge brush and where I just basically smudge the liner. This is just going to make the liner line not as let's say neat as it should be. It's just going to make it very smudgy, very effortlessly not precise, and kind of blend the eyeliner with the whole look to give this effortless romantic look, which I'm looking for. Here taking The Real by Benefit, which is a mascara that I find, yeah, it is kind of dramatic, but not that much. It really focuses on length, I find. And that's really what I want. I really want like super long lashes, not like too thick because I find for this look, I want something fresher. That's why I went for that one. And just one layer is more than enough to get the effect I want. Something I love about the Real is really how the brush is like the tip is like a little ball, and it just helps applying not only on lower lashes, but like it's just very useful, that little ball in the end. For my concealer, I'm taking Nars's Radiant Creamy Concealer in my color, which is Radiant Vanilla, or one of the lightest at least. and taking a concealer brush, which is kind of airbrush concealer brush, I'm just going to go ahead and blend the whole thing on where I would have dark circles, not only to get rid of any darkness that the foundation didn't cover, but also I always apply my concealer after my eyeshadow because I find it get rid of any damage done by fallout, but also defines kind of like more properly the area of where the makeup is supposed to be. So basically I find it's just like a finishing touch that makes the whole look cleaner. Now I'm going to take liquid highlighter, High Beam by Benefit. This is not a concealer, so it's not going to be anything that's going to help you cover anything. Like, it's not a 2-for-1, basically, not two birds, one stone. This is just a highlighter, so it's a very sheer kind of highlighter. There's no covering, no coverage whatsoever, so it's just to add a light. And I apply this before any powders and blushes because it just makes a really nicer, more dewy look. The areas I'm going to apply it is basically where you usually highlight, so cheekbones, nose bridge, chin, cupid's bow, and I'm going to take a concealer brush, which is going to be clean this time, to blend the whole thing. So here I'm going to get a little bit chit-chatty, because for the blush, I actually have two different blushes here, which are pretty much in the same tones. They're pink, but personally they're both by Nars. This one is New Attitude and this one is Desire. The reason I'm showing you both is because personally I really love New Attitude for spring because it's really like, I'm going to show you the color. It's a very gorgeous pink, but it's like not too, like it's a little bit too sheer, it's not too dense. Whereas for example Desire is much more of an intense pigment. But New Attitude is much harder to get because it's a limited edition, which I got like 2 years ago. And I know, life expectancy of makeup, blah, blah, blah. I don't care, I'm not getting rid of my limited edition blush. So that's why I'm talking about both. This one was qualified as like a cherry blossom pink. This one is pretty much more like a cotton candy pink. Like it's very, very pink. But if you apply Desire, like really do it very lightly because it's very pigmented. That's why I prefer this one, which is a little bit sheerer. But I think Nars also has another one. I think it's similar to Roman Holiday for the blush. That could also be a very nice touch for spring. Because for spring, I just love applying a very light, very like hot pink. Not hot pink like fuchsia, but more like just this one basically. Taking my blush brush, which is very flowy, it's not too like hard or dense, I'm going to apply New Attitude on my cheeks. What I love about that, like I mentioned before, you can actually layer it. Usually I'm really scared to put on Nars blushes because you barely touch it and that's it, you look like a clown and there's like a really bright red circle on your cheeks. But this one is easier to layer and work with. Now taking Too Faced Candlelight Blow and a highlighting brush, which is a really small, domey, fluffy brush. I'm going to apply it on pretty much everywhere I applied High Beam by Benefit before. I apply this at the end because it just adds a little punch. Putting powder on top of liquid highlighter just makes this just look so much glowy, so much lighter. And basically it's like you just added a lot of light to your face. The last touch is lipstick, so I'm taking Roman Holiday by Nars, which is a very light pastel-ish lipstick, but don't be fooled, it's not that opaque. It actually tends to be more on the sheer side, so you're probably going to have to reapply during the day because it's not matte. It's just really like a shiny, kind of satin-ish, sheerish finish, but it's a really, really subtle and gorgeous color for spring. So that's all for my spring makeup tutorial. It's very minty, very light, very pastel-ish. It just makes me so happy. Kind of like feels romantic. It's very light. I find that just like blurring out a brown liner like I did right now, even though it kind of makes it a little bit messy, that's what makes it so careless, so romantic, so like you could just put like flowers in my braid right now and like put me in a very nice white dress in a meadow or something, and it would just look like so fairy-ish because it's just so light. And that's why I really love Roman Holiday by Nars for spring. Of course, I'm pretty sure there's like a bunch of lipsticks that are similar tones. I'm just like, I love Nars. I just love them so much. I tend to have like Blushes and lipsticks are usually Nars. Eyeshadows, I'm like a huge Herb and Decay sucker, but I do love the palettes from Anastasia. That's why I use them here. You guys probably noticed I did not touch my eyebrows at all. I just left them very like bare like that. The reason why is because I find, especially for spring, I find less is more. Like, especially for this look, like I mentioned, I just want it to be so effortless, so glowy. So like contour was out of the question. There was no contour here because even though I love having a very sculpted face, I just wanted it to be just like colorful, glowy, natural-ish. That's the other reason why I did not touch my eyebrows. I'm just like leaving them like that because I just want everything to be kind of like an effortless, romantic look. So there's no way I'm touching that. I hope you guys didn't notice my little problem because right before filming, I thought it'd be a good idea to eat Nerds. So if you notice a disaster, I'll just show you so you guys could actually have a laugh. Here it is. Look. Never eat Nerds before filming a video. Bad idea. Brushing your teeth. Nothing's getting rid of that green tone. I'm just lucky my teeth aren't green. Anyways, thank you for watching and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my video for any more beauty videos.